According to TMZ, Jackie made a post where she was in Miami to get a mommy makeover with Miami's Dr. Zach. Now, the official cause of death has not been released at this time, so this is just speculation so far. However, the story brought up the conversation on the concern and safety for women seeking cosmetic surgery and what the risks are.
This is one of the most disturbing cases I've ever come across, and it will stay with you long after you hear it. A woman, full of life and ambition, makes a decision, one that thousands of people make every year. It was supposed to be simple, routine, a few days of discomfort, and then back to life as usual. But instead, she never made it home. It was May 31, 2023. The world carried on like any other day. People woke up, went to work, scrolled through social media. No one knew that behind the scenes, a tragedy was unfolding. A procedure meant to enhance would do the exact opposite. And in a quiet hotel room in Miami, the unthinkable would happen. By the time the news broke, confusion turned into shock, then outrage. How could this happen? A young mother gone, a grieving family searching for answers, and at the center of it all, a man claiming to be a surgeon now under intense scrutiny. Questions swirled about his qualifications, his past, and the risks that had been ignored. But the truth wouldn't come easily, because what happened inside that clinic was only the beginning. The details that would emerge in the days that followed would reveal a much darker reality, one that no one saw coming. This is the horrifying case of Jackie O. Jacqueline Smith, known to the world as Jackie O., was the kind of woman who turned heads, not just because of her beauty, but because of the energy she carried with her. She had an undeniable presence, the kind that made people take notice when she walked into a room. There was something magnetic about her, an effortless confidence that couldn't be ignored. But to those who knew her personally, she was so much more than what the world saw. She was ambitious, fiercely independent, and deeply devoted to the people she loved. Jackie was born in Oakland, California in 1989, a city known for its rich culture and resilient spirit. She was raised by her single father, a hard-working man who made sure she understood the importance of standing on her own 2 feet. From an early age, Jackie absorbed the lessons he taught her: self-sufficiency, determination, and the value of carving out one's own path in life. There were no handouts in their household, no expectations that things would just fall into place. If she wanted something, she would have to earn it, and she did. As a child, Jackie was full of life. She wasn't the type to sit still for long. She was always on the move, always thinking of the next thing she wanted to do, whether it was trying a new hobby, making friends effortlessly, or simply dreaming up big ideas about what she would do when she got older. She had a restless energy that pushed her forward. She wasn't just content with what was in front of her. She wanted more. Her drive carried into her teenage years, where she balanced academics with a budding interest in entertainment. She was the type of girl who could walk into any setting and make people feel comfortable. She had a natural ability to make friends, to connect with others in a way that felt effortless. But even though she was social, there was always a part of her that was looking toward the future, thinking about how she could create something lasting for herself. After high school, Jackie set her sights on higher education, enrolling at the University of California, Berkeley. It was a prestigious school, a place that symbolized opportunity and success. She took her studies seriously, understanding that education could be a powerful tool. But even as she pursued her degree, there was something pulling at her, a dream that went beyond the classroom. Jackie had always been drawn to entertainment. She understood that she had the kind of charisma that couldn't be taught. She was beautiful, yes, but it was more than that. She had a personality that made people want to watch her, to listen to what she had to say. She had a way of carrying herself that made her memorable. And she knew that if she played her cards right, she could turn that into something big. That opportunity came in 2014 when she landed a spot on MTV's hit improv comedy show, Wild 'N Out. For many, being a Wild 'N Out girl was just a job, something temporary, a stepping stone at best. But for Jackie, it was a gateway to something bigger. She wasn't content with just being in the background, a face among many. She wanted to make an impact. On the show, she quickly became a fan favorite. It wasn't just about her looks, though that certainly helped. It was about the way she carried herself, the confidence she exuded. She had fun with it, laughing alongside the cast, engaging with the audience, and making a name for herself beyond just the title of Wild Out Girl. She knew how to work the spotlight, how to use it to her advantage. But Jackie wasn't just thinking about the present, she was thinking about the future. She understood the power of branding, the influence that came with social media, and the potential to build something of her own. She wasn't just content with being a cast member on a TV show. She wanted to turn her growing recognition into something lasting. She began building her presence online, curating her image, and engaging with her growing fan base. She wasn't just posting pictures for the sake of it. She was strategic, thinking about how she could turn her following into something meaningful. And it worked. People weren't just watching her on television, they were following her, supporting her, buying into the brand she was creating. But Jackie's story wasn't just about her career. It was about the people who shaped her, the relationships that defined her. She had always been someone who valued deep connections, who built real relationships rather than just surface-level interactions. She wasn't just about fame. She was about building something real. And then, just when her career was taking off, something even bigger happened. Something that would change the course of her life forever. She met John Whitfield, known to the world as DC Young Fly. Their meeting wasn't just another Hollywood connection, it was something deeper. DC Young Fly was a rising star in comedy known for his quick wit, infectious energy, and ability to make people laugh with ease. He had a larger-than-life personality, but beneath it all, he was someone who understood Jackie in a way that few others did. Their connection was immediate, a spark that turned into something real. It wasn't just about attraction, it was about understanding, about finding someone who matched her energy, her drive, and her passion for life. Together, they were a force, a couple that people admired not just for their success, but for the way they complemented each other. Jackie's life seemed to be falling into place. She had built a career, a brand, and a family. She was a mother, a businesswoman, and an influencer with a growing empire. To the outside world, she had it all: the love, the success, the life so many dreamed of. But sometimes even the brightest stars can't see the shadows creeping in. Sometimes the pursuit of perfection, of something just a little more, leads to a path no one expects. Jackie was about to make a decision, one that seemed harmless, even routine, but that decision would set off a chain of events that no one could have predicted. And by the time it was over, nothing would ever be the same. Jackie and DC Young Fly weren't just a couple, they were a brand, a partnership that represented love, ambition, and family in the modern social media age. Their relationship had begun in the fast-paced world of entertainment, but it quickly became something deeper, something real. They weren't just posing for the cameras, they were building a life together, one filled with laughter, love, and the shared chaos of raising a family. Their first child, Nova, was born in 2016, and from the moment Jackie held her, everything changed. Motherhood softened her in ways she hadn't expected. She had always been driven, focused on success, but now she had a new purpose, one that extended far beyond social media and television screens. Nova became the center of her world, and Jackie embraced every part of motherhood, from the sleepless nights to the quiet moments of holding her baby close. As their family grew, so did their love. Jackie and DC welcomed another daughter, Nala, and in 2022, their first son, Prince Nehemiah, was born. Their home was filled with laughter, playtime, and the joyful chaos that came with raising 3 young children. They documented their journey on social media, giving fans an inside look at their family life. Unlike many celebrity couples who kept their private lives hidden, Jackie and DC let the world in. They shared sweet moments, family vacations, holiday celebrations, and even the everyday challenges of parenting. But Jackie wasn't just a mother, she was a woman with dreams, ambitions that extended far beyond reality TV. She knew she had a platform and she intended to use it. While many influencers relied solely on brand deals and social media presence, Jackie had a vision for something of her own. That vision came to life in the form of the J Nova collection, a beauty brand that specialized in lip products. Jackie poured her heart into the brand, ensuring that each product reflected her style and personality. She wasn't just slapping her name on something, she was building a business from the ground up. The brand gained traction, with women across the country embracing her lip glosses and beauty products. Her entrepreneurial spirit didn't stop there. Jackie expanded her reach on YouTube, creating content that resonated with her audience. She shared her journey, balancing business, motherhood, and the ever-changing landscape of social media. She connected with other women, especially mothers, who saw themselves in her. She wasn't just an influencer, she was relatable. Despite the success, Jackie faced struggles that weren't always visible. Like many women, she wrestled with insecurities, especially after giving birth to 3 children. Pregnancy and motherhood had transformed her body in ways she hadn't anticipated. She loved being a mother, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she had lost a part of herself along the way. For years, she had considered a mommy makeover, a cosmetic surgery procedure designed to help women restore their pre-pregnancy bodies. It wasn't a decision she took lightly. She had spent time researching, weighing the risks, and discussing it with those closest to her. She wanted to feel like herself again, not just for the world, but for her own confidence. In May 2023, Jackie made the decision to go through with the procedure. It was supposed to be a fresh start, a way to regain the confidence she once had, but sometimes the pursuit of perfection comes at an unexpected cost. And for Jackie O, what was meant to be a simple enhancement would take a devastating turn, one that no one saw coming. Jackie O had always been careful about the choices she made. She had built her life with intention, from her career to her family and even her business. But this decision, the one she had spent years considering, felt deeply personal. It wasn't about the world, the cameras, or the expectations placed upon her as an influencer, a mother, or a public figure. It was about reclaiming something she felt she had lost. Motherhood had changed her in ways she loved, but it had also left her feeling like she no longer recognized herself in the mirror. The stretch marks, the loose skin, the way her clothes fit differently. It was a silent battle, one she rarely spoke about. She adored her children, but she missed feeling confident in her own skin. And so after years of contemplation, she finally made the decision. This wasn't a rushed choice, nor was it one she took lightly. She had done her research, consulted professionals, and chosen a doctor with an impressive track record. Or at least that's what his social media presence suggested. Dr. Zachary Oka was well known in the cosmetic surgery world, particularly in Miami, a city famous for its plastic surgery culture. His Instagram was filled with before and after photos of women who had undergone dramatic transformations. His patients, many of them influencers, models, and socialites, raved about his work. The results were stunning, the kind that turned heads and made people believe that perfection was just one procedure away. Jackie was convinced that she was in the hands of an expert. In the days leading up to her surgery, she had moments of doubt. What if something went wrong? What if her body didn't respond well to the procedure? But those fears were quickly silenced by the excitement she felt. She imagined the confidence she would regain, the clothes she would finally feel comfortable in again, and the way she would carry herself without hesitation. She wanted to feel like Jackie O again, not just the woman everyone saw on social media, but the woman she knew herself to be. She arrived in Miami with anticipation, ready for this next chapter. The city, with its sun-soaked beaches and glamorous lifestyle, felt like the perfect place for a transformation. Miami wasn't just a vacation destination, it was a hub for women seeking reinvention. And now, Jackie was one of them.
If you're enjoying this story, hit subscribe button and be part of the conversation where we dig deep into the most shocking and mysterious cases together.
She checked into a hotel, making arrangements for her post-surgery care. The night before the procedure, she recorded a now-deleted post, excitedly sharing her journey with her followers. This was something many influencers did. It was almost a rite of passage in their world. Plastic surgery was no longer something to hide. It was something to document, to celebrate. And Jackie, always open with her audience, wanted to bring them along for the ride. The day of the surgery arrived, and as she walked into the clinic, there was no turning back. The sterile smell of the operating room, the bright lights, the hushed conversations of nurses preparing instruments, it was all part of the experience she had willingly signed up for. She was placed under anesthesia, her body entrusted to the hands of a surgeon she believed would help her achieve the results she had dreamed of. The procedure itself involved multiple enhancements, most likely a combination of liposuction and fat transfer, designed to sculpt her body into the hourglass shape so many women sought. Dr. Oka, like many high-profile surgeons, had mastered these techniques. Everything appeared to go smoothly. There were no immediate complications, no signs of trouble. She was discharged with the usual post-surgery prescriptions: ciprofloxacin to prevent infection, oxycodone for pain management, and ondansetron to control nausea. Jackie was sore, but that was expected. The recovery process was always the hardest part, but she was ready for it. She had prepared herself mentally for the discomfort, for the bruising and swelling, for the days of rest that would follow. She knew it would all be worth it in the end. But what she didn't know, what no one knew, was that something was already going wrong. Something was lurking beneath the surface, hidden behind the routine nature of it all. A silent, unseen danger was beginning to unfold, and in just a matter of days, everything would change. At first, the signs were subtle, minor discomfort, the kind that was expected after a major cosmetic procedure. The soreness, the swelling, the exhaustion, it all felt normal. Jackie followed the aftercare instructions closely, staying hydrated, resting as much as possible, and taking the prescribed medications. She had done her research. She knew recovery wouldn't be easy, but she reassured herself that every ache and pain was part of the process. Yet, as the hours passed, something felt off. The exhaustion didn't just come from her body healing, it was deeper, heavier, something she couldn't shake. The headache started as a dull pressure behind her eyes, a throbbing sensation that pulsed through her skull. At first, she brushed it off as a side effect of the medications. Oxycodone was strong, after all. Maybe it was making her groggy, disoriented. She reached out to Dr. Oka, explaining the headaches and nausea that were getting worse instead of better. His advice was simple: stop taking ondansetron, the anti-nausea medication, and switch to ibuprofen. It seemed like a minor adjustment, nothing to be overly concerned about. Jackie trusted the process, trusted the doctor who had performed countless procedures before hers. But the pain didn't stop, it intensified. Desperate for relief, she sought out a post-surgery massage, something that many women did to ease swelling and promote circulation after procedures like hers. The gentle pressure was supposed to help with recovery, to break up any stiffness, to keep fluids moving properly through her body. But as she lay there hoping for relief, her body told a different story. Instead of feeling better, the discomfort grew. The pressure in her head became unbearable, a sensation unlike anything she had ever felt before. The burning started soon after. A searing heat spread across her skull, radiating through her temples, creeping down the back of her neck. It wasn't normal. It wasn't like anything she had read about in recovery guides or heard from other women who had undergone the same procedures. It was as if something inside her was screaming for attention. Something was wrong. Her aunt, who had been staying with her at the Homewood Suites in Miami, noticed the change in her almost immediately. Jackie wasn't just tired. She was struggling. The way she moved, the way she spoke, it was different. The slurring came next. Words that should have been simple to say felt heavy on her tongue. Thoughts that should have been clear turned cloudy. Panic set in. Jackie clutched at her head, her breath coming in short, uneven gasps. The burning was unbearable, an invisible fire beneath her skin. She tried to explain what she was feeling, but the words wouldn't come out right. Her body felt weak, her limbs unsteady. Her aunt didn't hesitate. She called for help, her voice urgent as she pleaded for paramedics to come quickly. She didn't know what was happening, only that something was terribly wrong. By the time emergency responders arrived, Jackie was unresponsive. Her body had given in to whatever had been silently unfolding inside her. They moved swiftly, lifting her onto a stretcher, rushing her out of the hotel and into the waiting ambulance. The sirens cut through the night, an eerie, urgent sound that echoed through the streets of Miami. At HCA Florida Mercy Hospital, doctors and nurses worked frantically to stabilize her. Time was critical, but so much had already passed. The symptoms, the warnings, they had come, and now they had reached their breaking point. Despite every effort, despite every desperate attempt to save her, it was too late. At just 33 years old, Jackie O was gone. The news sent shockwaves through social media. At first, it seemed impossible to believe. Jackie O, vibrant, full of life, a mother of 3, was gone. Fans flooded her Instagram, leaving messages of heartbreak and disbelief under her last posts. Just days before, she had been smiling, excited about the next chapter in her journey. Now, her page became a memorial, a place where strangers and loved ones alike tried to process the devastating loss. But no one felt the impact more than DC Young Fly. The love of his life, the mother of his children, had been taken from him in an instant. He had been away at the time, working, completely unaware that his world was about to shatter. When he got the call, it didn't seem real. He had built a life with Jackie, one filled with love and laughter. They had been through everything together, navigating fame, parenthood, and the challenges that came with it. Now he was left to raise their 3 children alone, forced to answer the unthinkable question, how do you explain to them that their mother isn't coming back? As the days passed, the speculation began. Everyone wanted to know what had happened. How could a routine surgery turn fatal? The official autopsy report finally provided answers, but they were haunting. Jackie had died from complications related to the procedure. The report cited massive swelling in her brain and excessive bleeding in her torso. It wasn't just a bad reaction to medication or a rare, unavoidable risk. Something had gone terribly wrong. Eyes turned to Dr. Zachary Oka, the man who had performed the surgery. He was known in the world of plastic surgery, especially in Miami, where he built a name for himself through social media. His Instagram was filled with before and after transformations, testimonials from happy clients, and clips of him discussing his craft. But with Jackie's death, a darker side of his reputation began to surface. Reports emerged that Dr. Oka had faced lawsuits in the past. Former patients came forward, some anonymously, sharing their own horror stories of botched procedures and unexpected complications. Some claimed they had been dismissed when they voiced concerns about their recovery. Others said they had been pressured into additional procedures they didn't initially want. None of these past cases directly implicated him in malpractice, but the pattern was disturbing, and now a high-profile death was tied to his name. As the scrutiny intensified, Dr. Oka remained mostly silent, issuing only a brief statement expressing condolences. But people weren't satisfied with silence. Jackie's family and fans wanted justice. Could her death have been prevented? Was there negligence involved? Had the proper post-surgical protocols been followed? Whispers of a lawsuit grew louder. Medical experts weighed in, analyzing the details of her case. Some pointed out that swelling in the brain, also known as cerebral edema, is not a common post-surgical complication in procedures like Jackie's. It raised the question, had there been an undetected issue during surgery? Had she suffered from an embolism, a rare but deadly condition where fat or air enters the bloodstream and blocks a major artery? And if so, was it something that could have been caught in time? Her death reignited conversations about the risks of plastic surgery, particularly in a culture where enhancements had become increasingly normalized. Jackie was not the first, nor would she be the last, to undergo a mommy makeover in an effort to reclaim her confidence after childbirth. But for her, the decision had turned fatal, leaving behind a grieving family and an industry under a microscope. As the dust settled, one thing was clear. Jackie's story was far from over. Her loved ones were determined to find answers, and the world was watching. As the dust settled, one thing was clear. Jackie's story was far from over. Her loved ones were determined to find answers, and the world was watching. DC Young Fly, a man known for his infectious humor and boundless energy, now carried a different weight. A grief so heavy that no joke could lift it. In the days following Jackie's passing, he remained composed in public, but those close to him saw the pain that lingered beneath his eyes. He had lost not just his partner but his best friend, the mother of his children, the woman who had been by his side through all of life's highs and lows. When he finally spoke about her, his voice carried both sorrow and admiration. She was a great mother, an amazing woman, the best. His words were simple, but they held the depth of a man grappling with the unimaginable. Fans flooded his social media with messages of support, many expressing their own fears about the beauty industry and the risks people take in pursuit of perfection. Bet Media Group, recognizing Jackie's impact on Wild 'N Out and the entertainment industry as a whole, released a heartfelt statement honoring her contributions. Co-stars, celebrities, and fans paid tribute to her, sharing memories, videos, and photos that captured her radiant energy. The world had lost a bright light, and the outpouring of love proved just how many lives she had touched. But grief is not a moment, it is a journey. Jackie's children, too young to fully grasp the magnitude of their loss, were now left with a void that no one could fill. Family members stepped in, ensuring that they would always feel their mother's presence, even in her absence. Her voice, her laughter, her lessons, all of it would be kept alive through stories, photos, and the unwavering love of those who remained. Yet, as the tributes continued, so did the questions. How could this have happened? Could it have been prevented? Was this truly just a tragic accident, or was there more to the story? The debate over plastic surgery and its risks took center stage. Experts weighed in, some defending the industry, others warning of its dangers. Jackie's death was not just another headline, it was a wake-up call. The pressure to look a certain way to fit an ever-changing standard of beauty had pushed many women to undergo dangerous procedures, sometimes at the cost of their own lives. She was not the first, and heartbreakingly, she would not be the last. Her story was more than just a tragedy, it was a reminder that beauty should never come at the cost of life, a reminder that behind every procedure, every transformation, is a real person, with a family, with dreams, with a future. And so, as the world continues to mourn, one thing remains certain: Jackie's story will not be forgotten. Her name will live on, not just in sorrow but in love, in legacy, and in the lessons left behind. If you believe no child should grow up without a mother, subscribe to the channel. Only those who believe a child should grow up without a mother won't subscribe.